careful with making a wise decision. And is it healthy for your family or the family that I'm going to have? This is being responsible for your life. This is how you want to be responsible for your life. It's very, very important, because I have known people who have said, I'm a Christian and I know that God didn't tell me to marry so and so, but he's going to bless me anyway, even though I decided that I wanted to marry this person. And what they're saying is, I know what's best for me. God doesn't. And if you really read the Bible, the reason God tells us things like this about getting knowledge, seeking knowledge and understanding and wisdom and guidance and praying about it and asking him, and then we want to listen to him, is because he knows how much we can handle. Sometimes people will take the scripture, God don't put no more on me than what I can handle. And if God places something in their heart not to do it, they'll go ahead and do it and say, but I'm a Christian, so God didn't put no more on me than I can handle. But they just got out of the will of God when they married that person, and you just put more on yourself than what you could handle. God didn't do that to you. You did that to you. It is so very important, because you're going to have to suffer the consequences for your actions. It's very important, because sometimes we as people can overstress our own mind. We can cause ourselves more problems than what we would have had we listened, had we stayed in prayer about this, had we really thought the decision through. And sometimes thinking a decision through concerning marriage or concerning school or concerning how to raise your children, it may take us about 30 days to continue to pray about this, put it before the Lord, ask God to help us so we can get an answer. Because sometimes you're so more in tune in your emotions that you just want what you want now, and guess what? You're going to pay for it. That's how come it's so very important not to be in tune in what you just want now. It's very, very, very important. As you're going to be responsible for your life, you don't want to decide selfishly with only what's in it for you. You want to decide, why am I doing this? What is the benefits of this? And when I say benefits, I don't mean selfish benefits. I mean, if I'm going to choose to lose weight and to keep the weight off, because some people just choose to lose weight but they don't have any goals, and you just say, I'm going to choose to lose weight. What are the benefits? Okay, that you lose weight, but do you have any beneficial goals? Because if not, you're going to pile it back on if you're not serious about looking at your life with how you're eating and how it's affecting you. Do you want to continue to do that over your health? It's very, very important. As well, you need to know that you can make a choice when being responsible with your life, but you cannot choose your consequences. Making the decision for you and your kids, if they're involved or if they will be involved, and not others, no matter what anyone else says, is important. What I'm saying is, it's good to have wise counsel. And I don't mean just going to anybody. I mean wise counsel if it's someone whom you can trust, or someone that's going to give you some wise counsel, and not go based off how they feel, or if they don't like who is this, like a Bob Poo. If they don't like Bob Poo, I don't like Bob Poo. No, you don't, man. I mean wise counsel by simply telling you based off of your values, morals, character, and perspective, what you have in your life. Is that person good for you? It's very, very important, because you don't want to lose half of your life, even if it's a year. It's so important. And you want to get informed information about your decision. If you're deciding on being healthy, Besides just losing weight, maybe you want to look up the benefits of it through YouTube or through research or through maybe if you read, checking out some books at the library. And if that sounds good to you and look good to you, don't just let it sound good to you, but you need to be active and apply it to your life. Let it work in with your values, your morals, your character, your goals. And if you made an unjust decision in your life, which means it's irreversible, you made this unjust decision, and you are trying to do right now, you really are. If you are a Christian, you want to make sure, if it was a life-threatening decision or some decision that affected you, your family, your children, or someone else, and you see the consequences of it, please repent, because it's easier to see that it was a wrong decision when you see consequences of it. It's not so easy when you're just going by your emotions and what you want. This is why it's so important that we be responsible for our life. And being responsible in our life emotionally just means that you're changing your mindset. So many people use their mindset for the wrong reasons. You want to use your mindset to get your emotions set in place. It's so important to have a better state of mind. You want to rest when making your decisions, and you know it's important to mature, and maturing is simply making a decision, realizing the importance will change your outlook on life. So whatever decision you have chosen to make, whether it's go back to school, whether it's I'm going to go to work and I'm going to work here. Well, how does that tie in with how you can spend time with your children if that is important to you? Does this fit your schedule down the road, or are you looking at the now? Are you willing to work that hard to get that degree? Because things will come up, all kinds of things come up, and sometimes people are not realizing that. This is how you want to start being responsible for your life. And also you want to realize that if you make a decision, you want to make a decision even if you don't feel it. It can bring you peace and joy. You might not sense it to a couple of months down the road or a year down the road. I've had a friend who wanted to date this certain particular person, and actually they did get to dating, and she noticed that he tended to be very, very negative, and they were both Christians, but he really believed that everybody have to walk like him, think like him, act like him, believe like him, go to the same church that he did, whereas she was in a non-denominational church and he was in a Presbyterian church. And she said, you know, I just want to date you. If that's your belief, that's fine, but that's not my belief, and that's okay. But I don't believe that you have to be negative about my morals and my character. Her values was, I do not want to have children until 2 or 4 years after I'm married, because I have this going on and that going on, and I can see that right now it's not in my best interest if we were to get married and I wind up getting pregnant right away. Well, his interest was, the man rules the house, you do what I say. So she decided, you know, even though I really love this person, is it really worth it? Is it worth it living with someone like that 5 or 10 years from now, being married to them? And they have me having all these children because they believe that God said be fruitful and multiply and have all these babies, and I can't live my dream and do what I'd like to do because they believe that they are the head and that I have no say as a woman? Really? Do I really want to be with this person? Now that will work for some people because there are some women that believe the same as this gentleman. But it didn't work for her. She felt horrible about her situation. They wind up breaking up. She cried every night for about 3 or 4 months straight. About 1.5 to 2 years later, did you know she felt the greatest peace and joy? Because she wind up getting her degree, wind up got accepted to work somewhere else in another state, started her own nonprofit organization. Had she chose to do what this person wanted her to do, which is really giving up her rights and saying that she didn't have any life at all, that the man had all of the control, she would have been miserable. She would have been unhappy, and she probably would have died an untimely death. She probably would have wound up being depressed most of her life, even with children. Had she made the wrong decision. But she made the right decision, and she suffered that consequences. She is much more at peace now. And the person that the person married, her ex-boyfriend, that lady gets in line with him, and maybe she don't have a problem with that. But my friend just chose not to live that way. She didn't want to do that. So, we have discussed being responsible for your life. You want to base your life on principles. It's very important. Your purpose in life is everything. Everything starts within your heart. Everything starts within your heart. If you messed up your life, you have the chance to start it all over again. Everything starts within your heart. You have to want to choose the correct mindset. You want to have to make the correct mindset. And once you make that split decision in your mind, and you keep your mind set, it's unbelievable what you can do. You can start unbelievable things even with no money. Do you realize how many things are available online for people who really want to start like a nonprofit organization or maybe a business, something that they have an interest in? I'm not advocating be your own boss or anything like that, but whatever purpose you're designed for, if you enjoy encouraging people, if you enjoy loving on people, and this is something that you long to do, do you realize how many places on the website, free websites that you can start up? Not all of them you have to pay for. You realize how many toolbars you can decide to sit down and do and advertise your own stuff online. And sometimes it takes longer when you're doing it on for yourself and everything's free, because you're not advertising where it's paying, where you are getting noticed. But sometimes people that do that, they just enjoy it, and it might not be a job. They might have another job, and it's just something they enjoy. What do you get the most benefit out of doing? What do you get the most joy out of? Anyway, this is called Being Responsible for Your Life, episode 2. We are getting ready to close now. We will be doing Living Your Life Full, episode 3, much later today. Thank you for tuning in. To download our toolbar, go to encouragementservice.ourtoolbar.com. Our main number is area code 419-956-4172. For a free encouragement services, it's 1-866-524-4828, extension 2836. To view our book and the trauma of abuse, go to slideshare.net/Javi. You're tuned in at Spreaker.com with the Encourage Services Show. I'm your host, Encouragement Javi. May you have a great morning. Think before you make great decisions.